I thought I'd talk about the elephant in the room. You know, unaffordable Florida housing and all of the problems that go along with it. Housing prices here in Florida, they are up well over 40%, inching up to about 50% since 2020. Insurance prices, well, yeah, they've doubled. And mortgage rates are high. So it's making it quite difficult to own a property in the state of Florida. But our governor is trying to take the sting out of the situation, at least a little bit. He's trying to implement some tools that help with lowering insurance costs, and he's even tackling property taxes, which is music to my ears. So that's good news for people that own property in Florida and for people that want to own property in the state of Florida. Lawmakers here in Florida have about 1,800 bills to review in the next legislative session, which goes over about 60 days. And there are quite a few of those bills that tackle housing.
House Speaker Danny Perez wants to make home buying more affordable. No big bill on the subject yet, but little ones, like allowing carriage home construction, regardless of local ordinances, prohibiting corporations from buying up houses and turning them into rentals, and then there's the governor teasing big changes for property tax assessments.
You buy your house for $300,000 7 years ago, now all of a sudden they're telling you it's worth $900,000, and then they tax you more for that. That is not good policy. We're going to work on relief on that too for people's property taxes, because I think it's ridiculous.
Now, while there are a lot to work with when it comes to housing problems, and I'd like to see all of them tackled, there was another one that caught my eye. Senate Bill 322, it's also / House Bill 213, would help commercial property owners get rid of all those illegal squatters. We did put some laws into place about a year and a half ago that helped private property owners, anybody that owns a house like me. If you had a squatter in your house, you could throw them out immediately and not go through all those ridiculous hoops and loops and go to court. And why should you? It's your house, and somebody's in there illegally. You should be able to throw them out immediately. And now they've got a bill that tackles just that for the commercial property owner, which is a good thing. Now, back in 2022, Ron DeSantis did put some tools in to help lower insurance costs, and that was the My Safe Florida Home program. And that's like a grant, and it was very popular. There was over $576 million in grant money provided to homeowners. Now, those grants are used to harden your home, and hardening your home basically makes the home better equipped to handle a hurricane. So maybe you don't have hurricane shutters, and it will help you pay for those. Maybe you need a new roof. So these are the type of tools that Florida has put into place to help people harden their homes, which will lower your insurance costs. And the average amount is $1,000 a year to lower your insurance premium. So that's nothing to blink at. It also provides for free wind mitigation reports. So there were 109,000 people that took advantage of that. And it ran out of money real quick. So they're trying to increase the budget on that, make more of that money available. And that's part of this year's legislative session to increase the funds for that particular program and help you lower your insurance costs. And everybody can rally behind that. Also, extremely problematic here in the state of Florida is our condo situation.
All new at 6 o'clock, it's all over for 12.5 condo owners in Fort Lauderdale. They're being forced to sell their building because of new state laws that require repairs with big price tags.
Owning a condo has gotten pretty unaffordable. And it's a real big problem for those who are retired and on fixed income. I mean, there are a lot of retired people here in the state of Florida who live in condos, which were at one point in time affordable. I mean, you had, let's say, a $350 condo fee, covered the building insurance and all the maintenance. And most people who are older don't want to deal with mowing the lawn, so this is one of the reasons they live in a condo. It's a lot less to take care of, and things are more difficult for you to take care of as you age. So this is a real big problem because now with the Champlain Tower collapse, now that collapse happened in 2021. I have a video on it on this channel, and it put in a lot of new laws to protect homeowners that live in these condominiums. It requires stringent structural inspections based upon the age of the condominium and how close it is to the water and the height of the building. Any building that's 3 stories or taller, and if you're within 3 miles of the beach, and once you hit 20 years of age, you've got to start doing these inspections, and they are not cheap. And if they find anything in the building structurally with the rebar, any type of problem with erosion, has to be fixed, and those repairs are extremely high. When I say extremely high, I'm talking in the millions. I know of a condominium here right where I live, and each homeowner was assessed $60,000. Now, on top of those assessments that the condominium owners have to pay, they also have to deal with the increased cost monthly because of insurance. And your $350 condo fee are now $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a month. And if you're on a fixed income, you can't afford it. So, with these challenges in mind, the Florida Realtors Association has approached lawmakers here in the state of Florida and asked them to come up with some type of solution. And really, I don't know what that solution is. Maybe it's something like the grant program for insurance. That might be helpful, where you could get a grant to help offset the cost of the assessment. That could possibly help a lot of homeowners, especially elderly homeowners of these condominiums who don't have maybe $60,000 sitting around to toss over to the homeowners association. I'm not sure what they'll do about the monthly, but that's part of this legislative session. Say that 10 times fast. Hopefully they'll come up with something, because people are now being forced to sell their condos because they can't afford them.
People who just can't afford it having to list their condos and find another place to move.
But for Rufina, finding another place to move on a fixed income seems impossible.
You feel very alone. I guess aloneness is the main thing I'm feeling now.
And now, while there are numerous types of bills being considered that have to do with private property rights, commercial property rights, insurance, the one that caught my eye the most was property taxes. And I would just be so happy if we could lower property taxes.
Well, should Florida ban local governments from collecting property taxes?
Governor DeSantis floated the idea of getting rid of property taxes during an appearance in Tampa this week. And Fox 13's Evan Axelbank explains what that would mean.
Governor DeSantis knows how to start a discussion.
And do you think it's fine that you buy property, you buy a home, you own it outright, free and clear, and yet you have to continue to pony up money to the government just for the courtesy of using your own property?
Local governments in Florida take in $42.7 billion a year in property taxes, or about $2,000 per person.
Property taxes finance so much at the local level that without them,
there are a lot of questions. Esteban Santos of the Florida Policy Institute found that if property taxes were to go away, the state would have to double its sales tax rate from 6 to 12%. That is, if it wants to keep the same local services.
Sounds pretty good, right? It would, once the 16th Amendment went into place that gave governments the right to tax you and I. So maybe the 16th Amendment needs to be revised or abolished. And it's really unfair, in my opinion, to tax people over and over and over just because you own a home. I think it's a form of unrealized gains. Every year, you're paying the county money just because you own a house. And if you sell the house, you got to pay the federal government on your gains. Of course, as a homesteaded property, they reduce the amount of gains that you have to pay. But you're paying the government and you're paying the county. And you're paying the county every year. And I don't know about where you live, but where I live, they're spending money like drunken sailors. I am not kidding you. I mean, here most recently, in the county that I live in, they spent $500,000 on freaking downtown signs. That's $41,000 per sign. Our government officials locally are acting very much like our federal government. They are taxing the living crap out of everybody and spending it and spending it and spending it. And it needs to stop. I mean, do we really need one more roundabout? How about another median down the street with some more plants that need to be maintained? I don't think so. But tell me what you think. There is a comment section on the bottom of this video, and I'm sure you have an opinion about it. And I'd love to hear it. And while you're at it, my friends, you can hit the like button and the subscribe button. It's all free, and it'd make me very happy. And on another topic, just to give you a little update, I've been scaling back my videos some. I've had a lot on my plate. I'm working on some retirement planning, but also, unfortunately, I am dealing with some health issues with my little Truman. And while I will not get into it here on video because I just might lose it, let's just say I've got my hands full. So you may see just a little bit less of me for a while, but I am so glad that you're here, and I hope that you will continue to join me. So let loose, put those comments below, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and come back and see me, because I want to see your beautiful face here again on the next one.